Hey, Sagittarius, what's up? How's it going? Welcome to Fire Fridays, where every Friday I read for you, Sagittarius. Each weekly reading is also timeless, by the way, so whenever you come across this, it's for you, okay? We're going to take 3 cards of general energy using the Santa Muerte, as is our custom for fire signs, and we will clarify using the Everyday Tarot, and that's lovely. So as I side-eye the front of my van, I'm distracted. Sorry about that. But hello, I'm back. All right, let's get into it, Sagittarius. I hope everybody's having a beautiful week. Yes, indeed. All right. I'm very curious how this energy is going to play out because there's been a little bit of overlap so far in the fire signs today. That's funny, I did just see Temperance on the bottom right there as I picked the deck up after cutting. So there you are. That's good. That's a good sign. I think that's an answer to my question. We are reading for you, okay? This isn't just a third iteration of the same reading for fire signs. This is for you, okay? So let's get right into it, my friends. All right, Sagittarius. We're kicking it off with the Queen of Cups. Anyway, we're kicking it off with the Queen of Cups. There's Temperance. Okay. And the Four of Cups. Interesting. Okay. Underlying the deck at this very moment in time is the Two of Swords. Okay, interesting Two of Swords energy here. One thing about the Two of Swords is it's a time... It's sort of a reprieve from warring energy. One thing about scissors, they still cut, right? Scissors cut. Scissors cut things in half. But scissors are not intended to be used as a weapon. They're not a weapon. It's something you use in a more practical way. So I think if there's an impasse that you're dealing with, generally speaking, Sagittarius, there's a way to sort of find the solution to that without any aggressive activity. Let me put it that way. Aggressive activity. Okay, but let's get into this for a minute. I think, Sagittarius, basically this balance, the Temperance card is a card of finding the balance of your passions and emotions with your logic and reason, right? I think something that's been coming into balance for you is your cup energy, your nurturing energy. The Queen of Cups is motherly, nurturing, a caretaker, just a very, very sweet, feminine energy. And also is highly intuitive, by the way. So it could be something to do with tapping into your intuition as well. But I feel like your energy is just sort of rounding out here in a general sense, which is getting you away from this stagnancy of depression. This cup is like being spilled out of the mind, right? And you're sort of in this like mopey, woe is me kind of energy. I think some of that is I think what's pulling you away from that and restoring a balance to you is really getting into this heart space, truly opening up your heart. And as you do that, I think you're going to find, basically new creative solutions to your problems, okay? That aren't aggressive. Maybe in the past you've had to be very aggressive or defensive or things like that, but it seems like you're starting to put some of that energy down. Not everything has to be a war. Not everything's a war. Not every conflict requires aggression. Not every war is won by swords and guns and bombs. Wars are won and lost in the hearts of the mind of the people, especially nowadays with social media and everything else that's going on. It's like you're changing your mind about something, and that's really going to empower you. I don't know why I just did this. Interesting. Okay, Sagittarius, let's get some clarification on this Queen of Cups for you right now. Yeah, before I move on, I'm sorry. We're done shuffling, first of all. I'm going to leave it there. But one thing that I am noting about this Temperance card is the way the sun is right behind her head there, and you're seeing how it's illuminating. It's really illuminating the crown, but it's also just alluding to brighter days ahead, right? And to happiness and to joy and all those things. So this shift is bringing something beautiful in for you, I do believe, Sagittarius. All right, kicking it off here. To clarify the Queen of Cups, we have the Nine of Cups. We've got some very happy and satisfied energy here. We have Ace of Swords. Clear communication and truth revealed. Okay. And we have the Five of Cups. This was an emotional setback. All right. Underlying the deck right now, we have the Seven of Pentacles. So they're underlying the deck here is very introspective energy and sort of a, well, just looking back, you know, you're taking stock of where you're at, basically. You're taking stock of where you're at. I think on the other side of the past situations that have been difficult, negative, the setbacks, you know, I think the Ace of Swords here is sort of representing multiple points in time. There was a truth revealed that caused heartache, certainly. There's another truth revealed that helps you see what you truly have. So you could almost think of this as like multiple swords, in a sense. At least that's how I'm intuiting it right now. With that Seven of Pentacles energy, there is a definite satisfaction in where you're at, and then maybe you're sort of maybe plotting or analyzing how to take this to the next level and get to that 10 of Cups, right? You've got 9, it's good, but you want 10. I mean, don't we all? We all want 10. It's okay. No judgment here. But there's something about that too. Like, I think you're going to have a bit of an insight on how that comes to be, because you're going to see things more clearly as they are in some way. And I think that clarity is going to come through opening your heart space, because the thing about truth and the thing about communication is it's a 50-50 prospect. If somebody says something to you cut and dry, plain as day, clear as they can possibly be, but you're not willing to listen, you're still not hearing you're not hearing the truth. They may be speaking it, but you're not hearing it, right? So the Ace of Swords is like, that's a two-way street. That is absolutely a two-way street. That rant came out of nowhere. Holy shit. That energy came out of nowhere. You gotta listen. You have to learn to listen. You can't just speak. Speaking's great. Some of us don't speak enough. Some of us speak too much. There is a component of listening that is absolutely essential. God, I'm just like yelling at you. I'm sorry. I don't know what that was. But you gotta listen too. And I think when you as you're opening your heart space, Sagittarius, that is going to help you listen, because the act of listening will open your heart space, perhaps I should say. Maybe that's a better way to put it. You know, you have to, it's hard to do, but walking a mile in another person's shoes will really illuminate a situation, okay? So that's beautiful. We all need that. It's not just you, Sagittarius. That's a general human problem, is learning to listen to one another, isn't it? All right. Regarding temperance, we're kicking it off with the Seven of Wands. Defensive, right? This one's very cut and dry, too. This is a very clear defensive energy. It's like you're standing your ground against these other things, and your wand is lit on fire, too. You're burning, it's like... It's brave. It's an act of bravery, but it's very defensive. And I guess the question is, do you need to be that defensive? I mean, the way the reading's been going, I'd have to say maybe not so much. That said, of course, there is a balance, right? Temperance. There's a balance to be struck there. You learn to listen, but just because you listen and gain an understanding of where someone's coming from, that doesn't mean that you have to agree with them. That doesn't mean you have to do what they ask you to do. Especially if it's something unreasonable, of course, right? Now, in addition to our Seven of Wands, we've got the Nine of Swords, and we have the Empress. Oh, this is an interesting Empress card. All right. I would like to note The energy is feminine. The energy is feminine in all three of these cards in this particular deck. You can see, and of course, you know, I'm being ridiculously traditional. Take it as it resonates. Don't be offended. They all have long hair. They all have long hair. They all appear to be feminine in energy. Boldness and bravery in the outside world, standing your ground. Internally, there's been a lot of anguish, a lot of difficulty, a lot of fear. I think it's something you overcome, though. It's something, again, we're clarifying temperance, bringing a balance to things. This fear is not in balance, obviously, because this is a purely mental state within. And we have the Empress here, and I think that's sort of like bringing about this balance is sort of pulling you towards Emperor or Empress status, Empress status, right? The thing to know about Emperor and Empress is they embody the energy of all four respective kings or queens, right? All four suits. And Temperance really exhibits all four suits as well, in that sense. You do have the air, the fire, the water, and the earth. And so that is a balance that's being brought about within you and creating a more holistic... You have a more holistic embodied energy within you, and that also gives you the ability to create. Ah, yes, the Wheel of Fortune is on the bottom. Wheel is spinning in your favor, my friends. Yes, indeed. It's a call to action as well, of course, but I think the karmic wheel is spinning in your favor, and as it's starting to lock into place because you're finding that balance within you and recognizing your own personal power and really getting into that mode of being able to create new circumstances, new paradigms, and new opportunities in your life. In that Empress energy, you know, she's the divine mother. She creates. So, very, very tuned into that Queen of Cups energy in a lot of ways. That was a key component that was missing, Sagittarius, and I feel like that sort of clicked things into balance for you, which has kind of brought you into that Empress energy. Excuse me. Okay, we're clarifying the Four of Cups here. These were upright, so we're going to take them. We've got the Chariot. Okay, so we definitely, wow. We have the Page of Swords. And our final, I'm not shuffling. Yeah, I'm not shuffling. The Ten of Swords is on the bottom, by the way. The Ten of Swords is a bad card, but am I going to shuffle it and cover it up knowing it's there? No, I'm not. I'm going to leave it there. And we have the Moon. Yeah, and I know of one Cancer that's watching this, but I feel compelled to say this anyway. We have three cards of Cancer energy. The Queen of Cups is a Cancerian energy. The Chariot and the Moon are both Cancerian energy as well. So you may have Cancer in your chart, dear viewers. Somebody, I know at least one of you does, but maybe somebody else does too. I don't know. Anyway, we are clarifying the Four of Cups. That stagnant energy, the energy of, it has like a mourning vibe to it, like you're mourning a loss in a sense. There is a new empowerment here. Again, this Page of Swords is kind of familiar, like the Seven of Wands we looked at earlier, and that the defensiveness. You're just guarding the territory. You're protecting your sovereignty. In other words, you stopped pouring your cup out for other people and getting nothing in return, right? One of the reasons why you may have felt so stagnant is because you've poured into people without much discernment, perhaps, and it's caused some backlash. And so there's a pendulum swinging here. There's an equilibrium that needs to be reached of overgiving or undergiving or being totally blocked off, I should say. You know, how much you give is up to you, but I would say the tendency to overgive is definitely something that needs to be avoided. As you're guarding the territory here, you're taking a lot of time really analyzing like your inner world, right? It's what you truly desire, your hopes, your dreams. It can be your fears too, of course. Your deepest, innermost world. What's in there, you know? It's the optimistic side, of course, is all your hopes and everything. Now, the potential for fears there, of course, but I think it has more to do with your hopes because you've been bold in establishing your boundaries and those types of things while still keeping the heart space open. you know, that's really unlocked something for you. I think that basically you're at the ready to make some moves, Sagittarius. Definitely. You have to be prepared. The Chariot is an interesting card. It's like you're on the Chariot, you've gotten on the Chariot, you're ready to move, but it's not moving. The Chariot is stationary. It's just saying that you're prepared, though. It's a call to be prepared. Be prepared for Spirit to take you somewhere. Spirit wants to take you somewhere. I think something new and exciting is coming into your life. Something that's definitely going to be in tune with like your true calling, your true desires, and like all this stuff. I think I said it to all 3 fire signs today, but your deepest desires, as we can work on understanding them more clearly, like bringing a balance to the ego and getting through all the filters of fear, selfishness, greed, all this stuff, right? When we work through all those filters and just get to like the core of what it is that we truly desire, that passion that you have or that desire that you have will have a intention that is aligned with your service to others and to the universe. It's not, even if your deepest desire was to be filthy, disgusting rich, if you were able to work through that past the greed and past the fear of lack and all those things, you might find that underneath all that is, a spirit to give and like help people in a tremendous way, right? There's a reason for it. So it's not really meant, we're taught in traditional Western religious practices to deny our passions and to deny our deepest desires, but really we're meant to work with them. So I don't know, don't fall into that trap. As a side note, underlying is 10 of Swords, like I said earlier. This is interesting because I definitely interpret that as the moon. The ending, there's a definitive ending here of something, right? It's physically done and over with. And this person's looking as they're lying there towards the moon, which we have out here. We've got the moon and we've got the moon here. Again, this is you could think of it as like I was just talking about those filters that we remove. It's like one of your filters or aspect of your shadow that needed to be worked through has been worked through. In other words, you've sort of slain part of that dragon, the fear of lack or something like that. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. Something has been removed that gets you one step closer to that deepest desire. And that deepest desire is represented as a moon, which is a reflective surface. It's feminine. And it's, in other words, it's a gift that's going to be given. Like Spirit is going to give you something. The sun is the assertive masculine energy and the feminine is the moon reflective energy, the receptive energy, right? It receives and reflects. And so whatever your deepest desire is, that's the key to understanding that it is from Spirit, it is divine, and it is for you, is that you are receiving it from source, the sun. The sun is our source of life in this particular solar system. And it's like, it's exactly what it's saying. It's like what you desire is coming from source. So yes, it is divine, but we have to go through those endings, those micro endings that help us filter everything, right? Everything else. Help us filter out the bullshit, the toxic aspects of the ego. We're not meant to kill our egos fully. We're supposed to work with them, okay? Same principle there. But as you distill it down, you're getting closer and closer to your true, deepest heart's desire and manifestation. Okay, Sag? Okay, Sag? I don't know why I said K-Sag like that. I don't know. Okay, I guess we have nicknames now, and I'm calling you Sag. You can call me whatever you want, but don't be rude about it, please. Okay. I'm open to suggestions, I guess. If you want to make a nickname for me, go ahead. I don't care. Anyway, I'm getting really distracted. I apologize. Now, moving into your potential outcome, Sagittarius, we have the Three of Wands. Oh, yeah. The heart, the mind, and the spirit are all aligned towards a common goal. A little out of the box on that one for me, but the Three of Wands just speaks to that. It's sort of the trinity of like the three wands are representing sort of the holistic thing that embodies who you are, the body, the mind, and the spirit, or the heart, the mind, and the spirit. You know, the intellect, the emotion and passion, and then the spiritual drive that is kind of beyond those things, your higher self. I would say in this deck, it's very interesting because they're blossoming. So this holistic energy that we're coming into is still in progress, of course. It's a basically, I've had this discussion in the past. It's like working on ourselves, healing. It's like, well, yes, ultimately we don't really arrive until we leave the body. It's a lifelong pursuit to sort of pursue enlightenment and to be truly in tune with our highest self and our highest good and all that. It's a lifelong pursuit. You never actually arrive. Your physical body will fail before you obtain whatever the top level is, okay? And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, of course. Some people are convinced you can get there, and then they wonder why you're not on the level they are, but that's neither here nor there. None of their business. The act of ascension is collective, yes, but it's primarily to be focused on your individual journey, of course. We have the Queen of Swords. That's interesting. Now, Queen of Swords has come out in all three fire readings. And same thing. It's like, okay, you've got the ability to see. I'm going to leave that for just a second. All right. You've got the ability to see. You're sharp and I still can't say this word after the third time I've pulled this card. Perceptive. You're sharp and perceptive. You're recognizing the things in your life that aren't serving you, and you are gaining a new willingness to cut them out of your life. Cut them out of your life in any way possible. It can be a simple act of walking away from a situation if you're able to. If something is very confrontational, you're not afraid to use your words to put an end to it. So sometimes we have to be harsh with our words. You know, that Ace of Swords that we talked about earlier, it's like maybe something very clearly needs to come out of your mouth to somebody to help move a situation forward. Maybe something harsh has to come out of their mouth, but I would see that because all of this energy is effectively feminine, the Empress, the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Swords, we are talking about an individual here. It seems to be your energy collectively and your feminine aspects. But there's something about this Queen of Swords, like you have to learn to stand your ground. Like I was saying, the Page of Swords is sort of defending that territory and learning to send the message to others, not to cross those boundaries. Like now is the time, though, you're upgrading from that in a sense to Queen of Swords, where you, if people don't heed that warning, you will cut them off. And I think that's a good thing. I think you deserve to have healthy boundaries within how you deal with other people. We all do. We should all have respect for each other. Okay, I digress. Now we've got the Hanged Man here. And the Hanged Man, of course, is a shift in perspective, seeing things from another angle. This one is very interesting because the head is separated from the body here. And usually, you know, traditionally it's like somebody hanging from their foot, gaining a new perspective by making themselves uncomfortable, and then thus gaining some form of enlightenment, right? They've sacrificed their comfort in some way to see things from another point of view. This is detaching the head, and it kind of is like, it almost feels like a call to detach the intellect from the emotional, the rational from the emotional, which I think is pretty interesting. It's also, the Hanged Man is also standing up to their waist in water. So all that emotional energy. Yes, it's detaching the logic and rationale from the emotional. Okay? Which is very interesting. That may be uncomfortable for some of you. Okay? I think take it as it resonates, Sagittarius, whether or not you need to be, for some, it's to be more in tune with the emotions in a balanced and healthy way, of course. For others, it's a call to, you know, really allow the rationale to take the helm in certain situations, like when you're deciding who needs to maybe be removed from your life, for example. Emotions may make it difficult to do that, but you need to use your rational mind and understand, it's like, is this person taking advantage of me, you know? And it's difficult to do, especially in friendships. You know, if friends are mistreating you, you have to ask yourself if they're really your friends, for starters. But also, it's like, is it my duty or obligation to continue to suffer to benefit them when they don't even seemingly appreciate it, right? Just saying. Now, we got the Six of Wands on the bottom underlying the deck right now. This is, this is a card of victory. Victory and celebration, emerging victorious from battle, so to speak. This is from the perspective, not like in the traditional rider, it's the man, the king on the horse basically coming back. This is from the perspective of the crowd that's watching. All of these people have their wands up and they're all looking in the same direction. Sagittarius, I think, as you move through this process and you get closer to obtaining your deepest desires, really, like closer to that ultimate manifestation of like your life's path and your life's purpose, a lot of people are going to be watching. I think they're going to have a great deal of respect for you. They're going to respect you tremendously, Sagittarius. I think that's incredible. That's really beautiful. So as you get closer to your life's purpose, people are going to, I guess, confirm that in a sense. You may have some external validation that you're on the right path, perhaps. Something of that nature, which is lovely. That's a much better energy than people being jealous. So I love that. But Sagittarius, that's what I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next Friday on Fire Fridays, where I read for you, dear Sagittarius. And it's really warm in the van, so I'm gonna go. Have a beautiful week. Subscribe if you're not. If this resonated and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Hit the like button if you liked it, and I don't know, leave a comment if you want, because I love talking to you guys. I love meeting new people. So with that, I will see you next time. Take care. Best of luck with this energy, and until next Friday.